Hi and welcome to Swedish Plant Guys. A living Christmas tree. Well, why not? Why are we taking in dead trees and then just throwing them away a couple of weeks later, when we could have a living tree that we can use year after year after year? In this video, we take a short look at the Araucaria Heterophylla. Now this tree actually has more names than the living Christmas tree, which is one of them. The Latin name is Araucaria Heterophylla, which is a handful. A more common name is the Norfolk Island pine tree, or Norfolk Island tree. And it's actually because it originates from Norfolk Island in between Australia and New Zealand. Another name is star pine, even though this is not a pine. But that is of course because of the star-shaped needles or leaves here. It actually looks like a star if you look at it from above. Here in Sweden we call it rumsgran, directly translated meaning room fir or room spruce. But it's not a fir, it's not a spruce. This is actually a tropical plant. And Araucaria, the gender Araucaria, has a lot of different type of trees. What you need to know about this tree is that it can handle cold temperatures. By that I mean it can handle temperatures down to freezing. It will not stand if you have a freezing climate. So here in Sweden we cannot have this outdoors, we need to have it indoors. And being a tropical plant, it needs high humidity. Here in Sweden that means that in wintertime it's not a bad thing if you try and raise the humidity around the tree a little bit. By that I mean that you can place a small tray with pebbles and water, which means that that water will evaporate and raise the humidity around the tree. However, this tree has actually been standing here at our facility for over a year, and we're not doing anything to raise the humidity. Yes, we have a lot of plants here, but the humidity is quite low. And as you can see, it's almost perfect. We have no problems, because if you get problems because of the humidity, what will happen is that the needles here, the tips of the needles will start to become a little bit brown. And they are dry brown, which means that the entire plant can look quite bad, because those brown edges just makes it look sad. So if you get that, you know that it is probably because of the humidity. You can help the plant and hopefully it will become better. Now this is also a plant that loves light. It can be placed in a southern window with full direct sunlight all day and it will just thrive. It loves light, which means you should never place it somewhere where it's dark. Now, if you keep it as a Christmas tree for a couple of weeks, that's not a problem. You can place that Christmas tree anywhere in your house. But if you want to keep it the rest of the year, then you place it somewhere where it gets a lot of direct or indirect sunlight, and it will love that. Now, it can drink quite a lot of water, especially if you have it in direct sunlight. But it's quite easy to water this plant, because what we do is that you just use your finger and feel the top of the soil. You don't have to push the finger down into the soil, just feel the top of the soil. When the top of the soil is dry, you know that it's time to water again. If it's wet, just leave it be until it's dry on top of the soil and then you water. It's that simple. And the frequency will be different in summertime and in wintertime, of course, but just feel the soil and you know that it has enough water. Now, we fertilize this plant maybe once or twice a year. It doesn't need that much fertilizer, but we do it when it's active. And this plant grows mostly during spring and autumn. So that is the periods that we add fertilizer to the water when we water the plant. But in the midst of summer, when it's the hottest, and in winter when we have low humidity and less light, we do not fertilize this star pine. Now, one of the most common problems with this tree is that it starts to droop. The leaves or the needles here are just starting to hang down like this. And it means that it just looks droopy, it looks sad, and you don't want it anymore. Now, the reason can be actually different things. Most common reason is that it is standing in too much water. So make sure you have drainage holes in the bottom of your pot so that all of the excess water can go out of the pot. But if it's standing in water, the roots can get damaged, and it will show you by drooping like this. It could also mean that you have it somewhere in the midst of summer where it's too hot. As I said, it loves light, it loves indirect and direct light, but if it gets too hot, it can get to be too much and it starts to droop as well. It can also react like that if you have a very, very low humidity. You get those brown tips of the leaves and it starts to hang like this. So if you get those droopy leaves, just try and check the soil to see if you have too much water, and check the environment around the tree to pinpoint what the problem can be. Rectify that, and then it will be happy again, and it will start to raise those leaves so you get that nice star shape again. So if you take care of this tree in this manner, you have a living Christmas tree all year round. So you just take it out and you do whatever you like to do with your Christmas tree when Christmas is there, and then you just take that off, put it somewhere in a light spot, water it as we said, and you can have this year after year after year.
Nice!
Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps our channel a lot. Leave a comment as well, and subscribe to our channel if you want to know more about plants. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where you can get sneak previews on upcoming videos and sometimes a little bit more. Now, until next time, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hej då!